beautiful day outside, one of the best that we've seen in many months around here.
Yeah.
In a predictably mild winter, but this is a wonderful sunny day. This is Talking Sports. I'm Greg Selber. Pete Pettis, the same characters back again. This time we're going to talk a lot about basketball. We got most of the football out of our system by now. So, of course, there's still a bowl season to come, and there's a few state championship games to go. This guy's still waxing poetic about Katie and Steve.
That was a really great game. You should just watch it, and I mean that's cool. They televise them, so they got a big Fox network. They do it. And
one of these days,
so you see it go.
Right. Maybe one of these days we'll get to the point where one of our teams breaks into that television zone.
Oh,
It's got to happen sooner or later.
That would be awesome. I don't know. I really don't see it, but that's just me. I don't want to be all.
Yeah, that'd be hard to do.
But it's very difficult because you've got like
The best of the
Edinburgh,
best.
for example, has 4 high schools.
Yeah.
And maybe if you would put all the best talent from all 4 schools.
I've always felt that way.
know,
man.
but-
I've always felt that if you hadn't split the high schools, the teams would be better. I mean, that's pretty evident.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, I mean, it's just our growth. It's
Yeah.
our demographics. Some areas don't grow, and so they don't have to split the team, or they grow at a moderate rate. Those towns like Edinburgh, McAllen, all are growing like weeds, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's what you get. So and it's too bad in a way, but on the other hand, it makes it more competitive down here.
Yeah.
More rivalries and such.
So
Speaking of rivalries, man, I'll tell you, there's a lot of basketball rivalries that are beginning to be made. Everybody's getting their first shot at Vela and vice versa over in Edinburgh. It's pretty
how's that
impressive.
going with Vela?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going exceedingly well on the girls' side, and that's where we'll begin today. Latia Zarate has that team at 5-0 in district. They're number 1 right now. I mean, it's amazing. I think they're 15-4 or some such. It's a good basketball team.
Yeah.
They've got a big kid, Emily Azabel. They got a great point guard, Adiel Rodriguez, and they've got some ancillary players that are producing. For instance, the other night they won. I beat Donna, I think, 52-48. Larissa Novato had 14. She plays 3 or 4, and Miranda Washington had 13. So the thing I'm saying is that you got 2 really good players. If 2 other players score and defend and play, then there's no wonder that they're doing good. They got a little bit of depth. That team likes to run. They're the highest scoring team in the city among girls. And here's what they also do that I found to be interesting. They get to the free throw line more than any other team. Yeah. They get to the free throw line more. They've made more 3-pointers. I think they have 50 so far. They're number 1 in threes. The bottom line is they're a more active team. So there's not a lot of passive sitting around, passing around. Vela gets up and they run and they defend and they play, and I'm impressed with them so far. Really,
Nice.
5-0. I mean, you can't argue with that.
Nice. And on the boys' side?
The boys' side, Vela has struggled a little more than that. They don't have the good record right now. I think they're 3-10 or 3-11, but they've got a lot of potential. They've got some guys with some size. There's some long kids. Right now, they're just figuring out how to do this thing. I mean, it's their first varsity season, so they had those 3 wins. I think they played North on Friday. The girls, it's Vela, Edinburgh North. The schedules over the holidays are a little screwy. It's not, you can't count on seeing both teams at the same time. I think the Vela boys will eventually make some noise.
Nice.
They have a lot of kids who are underclassmen.
They have a good coach.
Yeah, they do, man. I mean, let's face it, Lalo Rios, and he, knowing his personality, he's struggling a little bit right now not to get all fired up and yell at him and stuff, because Lalo is an old school coach, man. He very much so. He'll find the right balance between, putting the fear of God in them and giving them a chance to grow. I really feel like we're looking at a successful team down the road. Now, the other teams in the district and town, we'll go back to boys. We'll stay with boys.
Yeah.
I've seen each of the teams several times. I would say that right now, North is looking strong. The Cougars are looking good, man. Brian Beltran is playing so well.
Is he? That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So you think they're going to walk away with the title? Or?
Well, I don't know about walk away, but I feel like they, if I had to say there's a favorite right now, I think it would be North.
Nice.
I think they're looking great. They got pretty good depth. There's a guy they have named Christian Cantu. He's not that tall, but he's a big leaper. He's an aggressive kid. He's really a tone setter. Get a steal, hit a 3. They got a lot of talent.
Nice.
EHS has the big 3, and it's always been, which one of those other kids will contribute enough to help them win. Right now, it looks like Adrian Palacios, number 3, kind of a tough kid. He can hit a mid-range jumper. He's always in the middle of stuff.
Sure.
He's a hustler, and if he continues to play well, and Andrew Cantu is the other guy. Only a freshman, man.
Nice.
Tall kid, about 6 foot, 6'1". So if those 2 kids come along, they can make it because Milo Trejo is playing great. Matt Garza is playing great. Gabe is great. They'll be in the race. I guarantee the Bobcats will be in the race.
Nice. Well, Palmview saw them over the weekend.
They're not bad.
They're gonna be in that race too. They like to score. They could use another big guy or a big guy.
Yeah, they're not huge.
Yeah, but they'll move around. They'll score.
Mark Delegado,
Yes.
number 1, cool looking little guy, looks like a bullfighter, like in the
And,
18th century. Or something.
San Rocio, he's on the team also, and they can make some noise in that district.
Who did they beat? I saw them beat.
They beat
Economides, I think. Yeah, I think no, or was it Vela? Yeah, one of those two teams. Yeah, Palm Beach's not bad. They got a couple of losses in district right now. Donna and Economides, if you look at their teams, Donna's got some athletes. Economides, I saw them and North over at the CE Vale in the fair, which is one of my favorite tournaments because it's great food. Absolutely, tons of sweets. It's an amazing thing. And they had tacos this time, and it was like, Economides has size and athleticism. But right now, Jaime Olivares is working on that team concept, that half-court offense. Because, look, when the Jags get up and run, they're hard to stay with, man, because they got 6'2", 6'3" kids who can run. They can score. Their problem right now, and it's not a problem, their quest is to play more team-oriented basketball, run the half-court sets. They will be heard from. I feel like they're just a notch below the Bobcats right now, who are a notch below North right now. Vela probably in 4th if you want to rank them. So, but it's going to be a fun season, man. It's going to be a real good season.
Nice. Here in the McAllen area, it's all about row. They've got 2 big guys, and they really take advantage of that size. Rudy Campos and Allen over there, Rudy Campos was at tournament MVP.
He's an active kid, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's about 6'2", maybe?
Yeah, 6'3".
Yeah, he'll rebound.
6'3". He brings down a lot of boards. He had 16 points in the final.
Okay. Anytime you win the MVP of a tournament, you're good. Now, this guy, Alan Martinez or Allen, man, what a specimen.
Yeah,
he's
big. They're big.
And he's quick, too.
Yeah, and Coach Everett knows that having that size is a real advantage for him, and it is. And I don't know how the other teams in the district think they're going to stop because they were rolling teams at the tournament. Granted, there were other teams, and some of them were smaller.
The draw wasn't as good in that tournament because the draw at the Vale was better. I'm telling you, the CE Vale for a while, and it's been around since the 40s. CE Vale was a referee and a coach here from Lafayette back in the 20s and 30s. Wonderful guy. The thing is, that tournament kind of, I wouldn't say deteriorated, but it became like a 3A tournament for a while, which was cool because I liked it. But if you look at the team, they had South, they had Harlingen, they had who else? They had another couple of good teams. They had North, and who else? They had
they
had like 4 or 5 really good teams. It was a good trend. It's the best I've seen the CE Vale tournament in a decade, and it's good. Now, the problem is the Keeler and the other one, City of Palms, they jockey back and forth for teams because there's fewer games in tournaments. So, I mean, it's more of a competition now. I was impressed with CE Vale. South and Harlingen are both good. Anyway, so you're talking about McAllen. Rowe's a good team. Tell me about this guy at 23 because I saw some video on this guy. Homeboy can play.
Yeah, he likes to shoot 3-pointers.
Eleuterio
Juarez.
Yes.
Okay. He likes to shoot 3-pointers, and he's tough. He'll go up there and he'll
drive, right?
He'll drive it to the rim. He'll shoot from, like I said, the 3-point line.
He had 4 threes one game. I know, a couple weeks ago. Right?
Yeah, against I was at that game. Yeah, he just jacks them up and they go in. And
he's kind of strong looking. He's short, stocky. He's got
tough.
a high dribble.
He's tough. He's not maybe like 5'7", 5'8", but he's tough. And
I like the way he plays bigger though. Man, I see him go to the goal. He ain't scared of nobody. He'll take it to the basket.
Yeah, and he was doing that against all the teams. I saw him play against. In the final, he was just rolling up there, and he was
Palmview, right?
Yeah, he was making them. Yeah.
Palmview's sneaky. Yeah. They've got some kids. They're skinny looking, but man, those little kids get in there and get with the program. Yeah. I'll tell you what. I do like Dick Vitale. I really believe that it's Rose District to lose.
Yeah.
Who else is going to, Weslaco's not that good.
Yeah.
East is not that great. Who else is in there? San Benito's not that great. I mean, they're okay.
The Fars.
PSJ North, 13-4. Okay, they haven't played the world's toughest schedule.
Yeah.
But they're decent. They're better than they have been in a couple of years. And PSJ is better than they have been.
Yeah, PSJ did good. I saw at the end of the game they beat even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who's the big kid? Oscar Castillo, 6'2", right? He's not bad.
Yeah.
17-7, I think.
But they got a new coach there too, and so
breath of fresh air. Yeah. And the other kid is Luis Mancias. He's a younger guy, a little shorter.
Sure.
He's averaging like 7 assists, 15 points. I believe he's the brother of Lisa Mancias, who was an unbelievably good player for PSJ a couple of years.
He's he did well at the tournament also. He was playing good. Yeah.
So Bears and Raiders are decent.
Yeah.
Memorial's got some guys who can score, but I don't think they have enough size and maturity. I mean, Rosales is good. Christian Ramirez, they'll score some points, but I don't see it for them. Who else? Of the McAllens.
Yeah, the McAllens.
Who would you put next, Memorial or McAllen?
I would put Memorial probably, and then McAllen.
Anybody with Papito's got a chance, but we were talking about it before we came on. Papito's having a great year. and I'm not trying to tell him to shoot more, but he needs to score more. His average is 16.
Yeah.
It needs to be about 20 or 25. That team doesn't have as many options as it used to. So he's going. But the thing is, you have to have a good 25. If you shoot 26 times to get 25, it's no good. But if you shoot 14 or 15, make some threes, some free throws, the key is to get to the line.
Yeah.
If you can get to the line, then you can shoot, and no one will guard you.
And make them at the line too.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
And jump back to the girls,
Yeah.
2 seconds. That's one of the reasons why some of the teams in town are having trouble. You know why Edinburgh High is a good team? Because they shoot 66% from the line.
Nice.
North is at 50, Vale is at 56, Economidi is less than that. So, hey man, you get a free shot. And also what it shows is being aggressive.
Yeah.
So they get to the line and they make their shots. 2/3, man, that's all you need. 66 on the girls' side, you can take that any day. But 50 is not good enough. So what happens is people hit free throws in practice and in warm-ups. But once you're tired, then you got to go to the line. It's like, whoa, always shoot free throws when you're tired in practice.
Yeah.
And they do. I'm not saying they don't, but I mean, because you're not going to get a free throw when you're just cool. It doesn't work that way.
You know what? Speaking of tired, road they not they're getting tired, but for in the semis and the finals, Coach Niebla, they got ahead. I mean, in the
Right.
finals they won by 20.
Right. Wow, that's
And,
impressive. Really.
Yeah, and he was able to get the people on the bench.
Good.
Yeah, which
Quality
helps,
minutes.
yeah, which helps them because you don't want to see it, but if somebody gets hurt, they've already got that experience,
And when you get them tough games, look against Sharyland,
Yeah.
if they played them, which they won't anymore because they're not in the same district, maybe in the playoffs. They've got like 12 guys. I mean, Sharyland has 17 guys in the team. I think 12 play a lot. They got 6 guys averaging at least 5. That's a depth team. So if you look at 35A, we said North is good, Edinburgh. Sharyland's going to be tough. Sharyland's going to be good. I feel like big John Horner, he's 6'6", man. He's incredible. They got a lot of size.
When do the Cougars and the Rattlers meet up?
It shouldn't be too long. I don't think it's this week.
It's not this week.
I think it's in early January.
Okay.
But that's going to be a great game, man. Because, North has some big kids. Alex Garza is a good post inside. And David Anzaldúa is the wild card. He comes in and he'll defend, rock solid. And he can score, too. He's got a nice little touch. It's going to be a great game.
Nice.
I really feel like those two teams are right now going to go neck and neck. Although you can't count out the Bobcats. Everybody does that. Everybody, the Bobcats are dead. Well, they're not. Look, who's going to hold Gabe Rivas? Who is going to hold that dude, man? He's 6'5", and he's got some quick moves. That dude's cold, man. He really is. I mean, Noe Espedicueta, by the way, his partner last year at EHS, is playing for the Bronx. He scored 4 points the other day. He got in the game, in a home game, and we're excited about him. Man.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that guy. He's worked hard to do what he's doing.
Yeah, I remember when I went to the Bronx game. I was like, man,
The guy looks familiar.
Yeah.
Noe, man, when Noe was in high school, he had some silly games, man. I mean, he had like 27 and 22 rebounds one game, 28 and 20, and he was tough, man. Decent perimeter player.
Yeah. I remember watching him. Yeah.
So let's move back to the girls' side of that 35A in McAllen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Rowe was 4-0, and then they lost to PSJ North. Pretty surprising result, but North had an incredible individual effort from a kid called Kristen Cifuentes. 27 points. She's averaging, if you look in the stats, incomplete, although they may be in the local paper, she's in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
She's in the top 15 in 4 categories. She's a really good player. If they had more, they can win the district.
Yeah, more.
Yeah. Right now, Amy Dominguez, I think, is a volleyball player that's out there. So now, the extent to which they can help her produce will tell the tale. But that's a big win against Rowe. So now, McAllen and Memorial are slugging along there in the district. Neither one of them has been superstar quality yet. But, I mean, they're still in the race.
Yeah, it's still there. But I watched Rowe. Like I said, I caught Rowe once, and they look good. I mean, they also got some size on them.
Sierra Basenia.
Yeah.
The point guard. It's always been one of the most talented people in the Valley. Absolutely, a great player. She started Sharyland as a freshman, was really unbelievable. I think I saw the first game she ever played, and she was just knocking down threes. I was like, who is that, man? She can handle, she's quick, she's a competitor. It's a great player. Ashley Watson, some other kids. They have enough to, I think, be close to winning that district. Memorial, they just don't score enough. Memorial and McAllen both are not scoring. I mean, you can win with 45 or 50, but you can't win in the 30s. You just can't do it.
No.
I mean, unless you're playing a team that's really bad. So, I mean, they're going to have to find ways to get other kids involved. I'll tell you who I'm excited about. There's a gal, her name is Kathy Maravillo from McAllen. I think she's a sophomore. She's starting to come along. Sante Garcia is pretty good.
Yeah.
Brittany Underwood is a big kid. So I think that they potentially will forge ahead. Well, they beat Memorial pretty good, didn't they?
Yeah.
40-25, I think it was.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get up into that upper echelon of teams. I think they're 2 and 3 right now. It's early. Remember, 16 games, right?
Yeah,
There's 9 teams, so you play 8.
And it's going back to like the football. I mean, these kids, they're just going to beat the crap out of each
Yeah,
other.
they will. Yeah, they will.
Especially in that district. I mean,
Now, the Edinburgh girls scored a big win. They beat Sharyland at home by 7, and that was a big thing because you don't want to lose that game early. I was impressed with that. North is 4-1. Edinburgh is 4-1. But with Vela, like we said, 5-0, man. North against Vela on Friday is going to be a fun thing in the girls.
Look at that. Yeah.
I really feel like if North continues to get production from other people, Larissa Ariola is averaging 19.4. She's just a great player. The rest of those kids are starting to show signs. I mean, they've won the games they could win and should win. Now we're going to see what they have against a really good team. So the bottom line is, for Vela, sooner or later they're going to have a down game. I mean, because they're human beings, right? They're not robots or androids. So what you want to do is have your down game against a crummy team. You don't want to have it against North because North is capable of beating them. You want to have it against, I mean, God forbid, but like a La Jolla or something, who actually is not terrible. But I mean, you know what I mean, right? You want to have your down game where you don't play like a city team. When you play a rivalry game, you don't want to, and they won't, man, because they're going to be acting crazy. That's going to be a nutty atmosphere, man. I think it's at home for Vela. So looking forward to that one.
Yeah. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
This week, Rowe and Memorial play. They play Friday. That should be a good matchup.
The girls or boys?
The boys.
Okay, so the boys. So Memorial, it would be a nice time for Gabe Myers to have a big game. Big kid. Yeah. He can play. He needs to have 15 and 10. He needs to have a real big night. And I'm not trying to put the pressure on him. This is his opportunity. Because now,
because this is where it's at. I mean, especially, you're knocking off the team that everybody's got the buzz about. So.
Yeah, and they can do it. Yeah. Papito 25, Myers 15, Morales 15. Those guys have to get the numbers because not that many other kids in that team are scoring. It ain't all about points, but there's a critical mass because Rowe's not going to, you're not going to hold them to 40. No. So they're going to score 60. So you're going to have to score 62, 25, 50.
Not only that, I mean, like Rudy and Allen, they'll block shots. Yeah. I mean, they defend that rim well.
I was impressed with. I've watched them. Yeah. I was impressed with the way they go to the boards on offense and defense. And that includes playing defense on the defensive ends. Those big kids just kind of come to the glass and pick up stuff. Because let's face it, there's going to be a lot of rebounds. Mm-hmm. Whether you come from the perimeter or whether you come from in transition and go to the glass, that has a lot to do with whether you will score. Because if you lay back and watch the ball, it ain't going to come to you. Yeah. Those kids, all of them, they go to the goal.
Yeah, they go to the rim and they go look for that ball.
You know what the best teams do? And I learned this watching Ed Couch in the old days and Harlingen in the old days, back in the 80s. They just keep the pressure on. Edinburgh, the reason the Bobcats have always been so good is not necessarily because they're great players with shooters, because they are, but they press, they take the ball, they don't let you set up, and that is so much easier than having to try to outscore.
Sure.
I mean, and what happens is the other team starts making turnovers, and conversely, we'll start fouling too. So you shoot a lot of free throws. If you're aggressive, you shoot free throws.
That's what happened with Palmview. In the final, they tried to. They were making shots, and they were trying to get looks they weren't used to getting, and Rowe just got the pressure on. Yeah.
Which is an experienced team. Even though some of those kids are relatively new, I feel like they've made the most out of the 6 weeks of the season so far. They really look like they're in midseason. Now, who's going to beat them? I don't know. I think we're forgetting one team that's going to come to me, of course, after we get off. Now, Weslaco's not that good. East is not that good. Who else could it be? PS State Memorial, North, Bears and Raiders will have something to say. Okay, well, that's it then. Okay, so if you told me that you think Rose is the district favorite to win district title, I think I'd agree.
Yeah.
And in the girls as well.
Yeah.
Now in 35A, I'm thinking right now that North has the best chance in the boys. Anything could happen, but I finally feel like that team is matured. It's got talent, it's got depth, and it's got the feeling. In the old days, any team that's not a successful team will find a way to blow it in the last 2 minutes. Right? North doesn't do that. They find a way to win. Now, they've had a couple of stumbles. They only lost twice to Valley team. I think the other 3 losses are in the tournament. So, I mean, there's a solid team right there. Girls 35A, gosh, I mean, how can you pick against 5-0 Vela right now? I'm telling you, go watch Emily. Emily Azubel, number 2. She's long and fair-skinned, and she looks kind of skinny, but she's not. She's strong. She goes to the goal. She can shoot. She got a nice stroke, man. She is a player. Oh, she's a player.
Maybe I should go make a video.
I'm telling you. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, too bad I don't know how to do the camera. All I do is the old-fashioned camera. It's going to be fun games, especially when the teams play each other from McAllen, from Edinburgh, when the city rivalries happen. Hey, you know me, man. I'm getting fired up about whatever I'm covering. So now I'm in the full basketball mode, and so let the games begin. Let the madness begin. Right?
We'll go for it. And like I said, just like our usual spiel, try to get to our website. I mean,
spread the word.
We're doing videos and photo galleries. I mean, putting your photos up there. We've got photos. Yeah, spread the word.
I think we're gonna get into a little advertising campaign to get some things out there. What we need is a little league team. Yeah, the Town Crier Cubs or something like that, man. Right? Put our pictures on there. The Talking Sports Yankees. You know, yeah, we'll sponsor our own team, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, why not?
Well, everybody needs to get out and enjoy the day because this is one that the good Lord has given us. I mean, you know, in most other places around the country right now, you're wearing coats and you got a hat on. So the Valley is a wonderful place. No more so than in a beautiful sunny winter day.
Exactly, which is why we have Winter Texans.
Indeed. I think I was actually the world's youngest winter Texan. I got here as soon as I could at 23. So anyhow, Greg Selber, Pete Pettis, Talking Sports. We'll be back next week. The district races are getting heated up. We may even have some football all-district teams or all-valley teams to talk about. Who knows? We may throw in a little football. But let's face it, basketball season.
Yeah.
We're out.